Good morning. If I could have everyone's attention, please. My name is Dick Pastor. I'm the commander of Westwood American Legion Post 320, and I'd like to thank you all for being here on this brisk morning for our Veterans Day ceremony. Before we begin, I'm going to open the meeting the way we normally would an American Legion meeting. So I'm going to ask everyone to please face the flag, hand salute. 2. The chaplain will offer prayer.
Thank you all for coming. Uncover, please. O God of hosts, we bow our heads in thankfulness for the victories that Thou hast granted us, to us and to those peoples we have united with us to stamp out the evils of aggression, intolerance, and greed. We beseech Thee to bring the blessings of understanding to the families and friends in this and other lands of those who have given their lives that men may be free. Grant, O God, that those closest to the fallen may mingle the pain of their losses with the ennobling light of sacrifice for civilization. Sacrifice for a better world for this and other generations yet unborn. Grant us too, O Lord, the courage to so live with the family of nations around the world, that the end of strife will be the beginning of enduring peace. Grant us patience in planning with our fellow men and women a world in which nations may resolve their differences by peaceful means. Touch Thou the souls of people in every land with the enduring light of wisdom, so that they may form a brotherhood which will strive to further the acts of peace under laws and ethics blessed by Thy love. Grant us now Thy continued blessing upon unity and strength that makes victories possible in war, that we may win greater victories of peace. Amen. Thank you.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have with us this morning the Westwood Selectmen, Nancy Hyde, Michael Walsh, and I'm going to ask John Hickey to please say a few words about Veterans Day.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having us. On behalf of my colleagues, Michael Walsh and Nancy Hyde, it's our pleasure to be here this morning, and we thank the Legion Post for putting this event on. This morning, we stand in solidarity with generations of Americans who have gathered at this hour, on this day, and in this month to express our undying gratitude to all those who've served our great nation. We've learned from the ancient Greeks that the essence of happiness is freedom, and the essence of freedom is courage. To each and every man and woman who has donned the uniform of this great nation, we thank them for their courage. No society in the history of the world has amassed such richness in arts and science, in innovation, in civil liberties, and personal freedoms. All of this is born on the backs of those who have served. I wanted to just end by saying that later on this morning, we will be heading to Severian to watch a football game that is played by amputee veterans. And they have persevered through so much, and we are grateful for their courage and for all who have served this nation throughout our history. Thank you once again for having us.
Thank you, John. Veterans Day is a time to honor not just those who have experienced combat, but all of the outstanding men and women who have served in our nation's armed forces since its inception more than 241 years ago. Peacetime or wartime, all veterans have taken an oath indicating their willingness to offer their lives to defend our Constitution and country. Today, men and women in uniform are providing humanitarian aid and rescuing victims of natural disasters. Some serve in war zones and risk their lives on a daily basis. Some are reservists, and some are in the National Guard. And while each takes pride in their branch of service, when an enemy threatens or a mission surfaces, they join together as one family and meet the challenge. That is what veterans do. Country first. How else could you describe the motives of someone who undergoes rigorous training, submits themselves to demanding superiors, and uproots their lives for minimal pay and long hours? We need to remember that to veterans, war is not a mere history lesson or a subject of a book. For them, the battles continue even after the firing stops and their return home is complete. We need to remember the sacrifices made, the lives lost, and the lost family time. By virtue of your attendance here, you likely have an appreciation for veterans. The people here are veterans, friends of veterans, family of veterans, co-workers of veterans, and neighbors of veterans. It is up to us to ensure that every veteran feels that his or her service to this country is appreciated by their fellow Americans. There are many tangible ways that we can acknowledge their sacrifice, but the easiest is to simply say, thank you for what you have done for our country. As a nation, we should commit to serve our veterans as well as they have served us. 20 veterans a day take their own lives. This is a tragedy for all Americans, since so many of these veterans have never recovered from invisible wounds they incurred while on duty. We need to remember that Veterans Day is also Freedom's Day. Veterans put us first, and today we put veterans first. Thank you for being here on this cold morning. God bless America, and God bless our veterans. As we begin our ceremony, I'd like to remember our MIAs. A POW MIA empty chair is placed at all official meetings of the American Legion as a physical symbol of the thousands of American POW MIAs still unaccounted for from all wars and conflicts involving the United States of America. This is a reminder for all of us to spare no effort to secure the release of any American prisoners from captivity, the repatriation of the remains of those who died bravely in defense of liberty, and a full accounting of those missing. Let us rededicate ourselves to this vital endeavor. On this Veterans Day, we are commemorating the service of veterans of all wars. We remember how men and women set aside their civilian pursuits to serve their nation's cause, defending the freedom of mankind and preserving our precious American heritage. We believe our strength on the field of battle, on the supply lines which nourished our armed might, lay in the justice of our cause against the forces of evil. We believe our determination made us better warriors because we fought with our minds and our hearts as well as our bodies. We recognize service to our country, and her cause does not end with the termination of military service. We continue our endeavors on behalf of an honorable world peace with a feeling of profound gratitude to God and to the men and women who gave their lives as their part of the cost of the noblest of causes. Out of blood and sweat, we learned of purpose, sacrifice, tolerance, bravery, and discipline. These are solid foundation stones upon which a great nation is built. In our continuing quest for an honorable world peace, we must cultivate these virtues.
Thank you. War has taught us the lesson of obedience to command. The game is more than the player, and the ship is more than the crew. There is greater discipline we must now pursue if we are to preserve this virtue of obedience in our quest for an honorable world peace. That is obedience to the laws that we ourselves make, the voluntary discipline of citizenship. Under our system of government, we may change the laws by majority rule. We may persuade our neighbors to new theories or new courses. We may advocate in free elections the choice of veterans or plans. As good citizens, we follow the choice of the majority, whether that choice be the individuals or not. That is the virtue of discipline which must be ours in peace. This is the lesson we must learn at home, in school, on the playing fields, in organizations, in the community, and the nation. It is the lesson of voluntary obedience to the decisions of the majority. We must not be unmindful, either of the conclusions of other peoples with whom we have joined in the quest for an honorable world peace. This is the highest order of disciplines. Thank you all.
In time of peace, we can use the ennobling virtues of war and put behind us ugliness and suffering. In peace, we shall go forward together to scale new heights of achievement in unity of purpose, in sacrifice for the common good, in tolerance for those of different faiths and creeds, in bravery to fight for social and economic gains, and in the discipline of good citizenship. We shall move forward in the sight of God as a strong nation in a peaceful world. Color Guard, would you please fire a 3-round salute?
Color Guard, stand up. Arrows about face. One step forward, front. Forward, up. Ready? Aim. Fire. Aim. Fire. Aim. Fire.
Thank you. The Color Guard is going to be leaving here and going to Zavarian High School for the football game between the Wounded Warrior amputees, Drew Bledsoe, and some other retired NFL players. It's hoped that you will join us at that game, and anybody who would like tickets, I have them. Be happy to give them to you. That concludes our Veterans Day ceremony. Thank you all again for being here.